Great, so this is Val. In this video I'm gonna show you a few settings you can play with, and up until now I haven't been really touching that because this light set and the whole thing is designed to just look at this gorgeous, right off the bat. So there's no adjustments that you need to do pretty much ever, but you can, and I'm just gonna walk you through some of them right now. So you do that in the render settings. There's no lights, so there's no additional things to do, just render settings. The first thing you can do is inside tone mapping, you can play with the film ISO. It's set to 500 by default. Alright, and you can increase this value to get a more washed out look. Alright, or decrease that value to get a less washed out look. So 500 was the default. Alright, it's set to vignetting at 1. That's those small kind of edges, black and darkened edges, if you will. You can increase this, but in doing so you're forcing a little bit of extra darkness around the edges that might spread a little bit too much onto your character. So as you increase this, you will get a more and more kind of condensed look and feel of your render. So that is something you want to keep down. Let me undo that, and there we go. Alright, so the thing is, it's kind of made black and white, as you can see, right? And because of it, it has a high contrast. We push the ISO, which is the intensity, quite high here, and also I've lowered saturation and I pushed up crush blacks. So what you can do is you can lower crush blacks to its initial value 0.2, which will not give that super strong black contrast, or you can just do that and play along with it. Alright, so the next thing is saturation. It's right now brought to 0 to give this black and white cool look. One is the default setting in colors. You can use this for color renders as well, but it's not really designed for it because it washes out the skin quite heavily, because black and white kind of survives that, right? It survives it. And also the crush blacks, it's meant to be for for black and white renders. But if you want to use color, then bring saturation up and lower crush blacks, and you might also want to lower the film ISO so it doesn't wash out the skin so much, because it doesn't really work to have those settings in color. They are just meant for black and white. So you can just go a little bit easier on stuff here if you want to do color, but it's really meant to be a black and white experience straight off the bat. Okay, so another thing you can play with is gamma. It's set to 2.2 by default, and this kind of washes out the image. Alright, it doesn't provide extra lighting, but just washes out the image, and you can play with the look, see if that suits your render or particular style. Alright, also when you're playing with color, you can also change the white point. It's set to a little bit blue toned image. You can set it on the blue scale to get it a little bit warmer if you like to, but really because this is a black and white experience, it doesn't really matter. So let's go black and white here. Awesome. Okay, let me just double check if I have these correctly set. Perfect. What you also can play with is burn highlights. It's set to 0.25 as default. You can lower this value to minimize the washing out effect. Alright, or you can increase it to actually go vice versa and wash it out even more. So it's up to you how you want to play it. Alright, excellent. Just go to default value. There we go. So that is pretty much it, and there are some additional things you can do, like progressive rendering. Here you can set the quality. I've set it to 5, which I found to be a good trade-off between speed and quality for this particular preset. You can increase it for better quality or decrease it to 1 for faster rendering, if that is if it suits your render and your needs. If you find it too grainy, then increase this value here. Okay, Now you don't need to let it run to 15,000. I do that because I want full quality. You can let it run to 5,000. That will in most cases be sufficient. Alright, so that's it for kind of advanced settings, if you will, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.